This is the final class on the imperative. Knowing how much you like pronouns, I think is going to be the most challenging, but it's part of the curriculum and you need to understand it. Well, we all know that we have three basic forms of commands. The to command, the noi command, the voi command. I think we did a good job understanding what it means to issue a command or a prompt. And we also at this point should know what the to, noi, and voi commands do. If you don't know that, please go back to the previous classes and try to understand that. All we need to do in this particular class is to attach pronouns to the imperative. Again, any of these three forms, both positive and negative, to, noi, and voi, of the imperative, attach the pronouns to them. What does it mean, attach the pronouns? First of all, which pronouns are we talking about? Well, we're talking about all pronouns that we have studied, which is direct, indirect, reflexive, ci, and ne. Of course, it cannot apply to subject pronouns because subject pronouns logically come before the verb and they do not apply to the imperative. In any case, we know that we do not even mention them. Alright? So it doesn't apply to tonic or disjunctive pronouns because we know that they logically follow not the verb but a preposition. And again, prepositions are not an issue at this point. So only these three types of pronouns. Let's just review very fast the direct object pronoun. Miti, Lola, and then we have Civi, Lile. We call direct object. Something that logically, it's actually the structure of the sentence that logically follows the verb directly and answer the question what or whom. So let's choose one of those pronouns that we can practice. Actually, we can choose two. We can choose la, that means her or it feminine, and we might choose li, which means them, and it could be, and it's of course masculine. Let's understand indirect object pronouns. Again, miti, but this time we have lei as feminine and masculine, third person singular, civi, and gli again in the plural. Let's use the feminine le, which means to her, or to it, feminine. And let's choose the plural to them. Actually, you know what? We can use, for a change, we can use the to me. Now, reflexive. This time we have myself, yourself, himself, herself, ourselves, yourselves, and themselves. But since we are talking about the to command, the noi command, and the voi command, of course we can only use the pronouns ti, ci, and vi, because I will actually issue a command with a reflexive verb to a person in front of me, and the pronoun that goes back as a boomerang, closing the reflexive verb, needs to be a ti. The same if I issue a noi command, of course I will issue to ourselves, so it's going to be a ci, a pronoun, and then a vi. Alright, let's use the reflexive ti and the reflexive ci for sake of explanation. And then the ci, we all know that replaces a location. So ci would mean there. And then we all know that means of it, of them, and about it. What about them? Okay, with this in mind, let's start. Let's use any of the commands that we know. For example, let's use a to command with the verb guardare. Guardare means to watch. It's an ARE verb. So I can look at Maria and says, Maria, guarda tua madre. So if I say something like that, we understand that we're using a to command, guardare, and we follow logically the verb guardare with the direct object. Maria guarda, watch whom? Your mother. How would I replace the direct object, your mother, with a pronoun? Well, it's very easy. If I, in a sentence, for example, this sounds like, here is your mother, Maria, watch her. All right? So, as we said, we're going to use the direct object pronoun for her, which is the third person singular, feminine, which is la. So, I will just say, Maria, guardala. As I already said, we will attach the direct object pronoun to the form of the imperative. This time you will not put it in front of the verb. You will attach it, as you will always do with any informal commands, to, noi, and voi. Okay? Of course, that works with the negative, non guardare. This time I will have to drop the final E. Bad looking D over there. I will drop the final E before I attach the pronoun. Maria non guardarla. Maria guardala, Maria non guardarla. Of course, if I want to say Maria watch them, masculine, I would say Maria guardali or non guardarli. If I want to tell Maria watch me, I would say Maria guarda me. Because this time the direct object is me. Maria non guardarmi would be do not watch me, and so on and so forth. How do I deal with the reflexive verb? Well, it's very easy. I can actually use the same verb and make it reflexive. The verb guardarsi means to watch oneself. So if I want to tell Maria, watch yourself, I would just say, guardati. If I want to tell Maria, do not watch yourself, I would just say, no, guardarti. The concept is very easy. Let's use with reflexive pronouns, with reflexive verbs. Let's try a noi command. So that would sound like, boys, let's watch ourselves, or let's watch each other, which in Italian is exactly the same. I know that the meaning is different, but in Italian, reflexive and reciprocal actions conjugate exactly the same. So, how do I say, let's watch ourselves? It's very easy. Actually, I'll give you time to think about it. I'll scroll the window. Alright, I would just have to add to let's watch the reflexive chi. So how do I say let's watch? This is something that we learned in the previous classes. Is guardiamo. So this time, if I add the reflexive first person plural pronoun chi, I will obtain guardiamoci. If I want to issue a command to more than one person in front of me, not including me, to watch yourselves, I would say guardatevi. This means watch each other, watch yourself. And we all know that the negative It's very easy. You just put non in front of it, and you just do it. All right. So we at this point we should understand how to do direct adverb pronouns and reflexive pronouns, and you'll see that the concept applies very easily to indirect adverb pronouns. Let's use a verb that lends itself to indirect objects. For example, the verb parlare. Why? Because parlare is of course can be followed by a direct object like parlare italiano, to speak Italian, but also allows for us to use an indirect object. To whom do I speak? I speak to my mother. All right. So how do I say, Maria, speak to your mother? I would just say, Maria, parla a tua madre. Well, but if we already understand that we are talking about her mother, so here is your mother, Maria, speak to her. I would just use the speak command, but rather than saying a tua madre at this point, I would just add the indirect adverb pronoun LE, and here's your mother, Maria, parlale. All right? If I want to say let's speak to her, I would just say parliamole. And if I want to say you guys speak to her, I would just say parlatele. I perfectly know that some of these things look awkward to you, and you're just afraid to say something stupid, and you just think it cannot be. Well, it can. So you apply the rules, and you see it cannot be wrong. Repeat after me. Parlale. Parliamole. Parlatele. Of course, if I replace le with gli, that would sound like speak to him, or let's speak to him, or you guys speak to him, and so on and so forth. Let's close this class with the forms of the imperative with ci, location. So if I say, for example, non andarci, I am just saying non andare, which is the basic to command, not to go, and I would add a ci, that means there. When will I say non andarci? Very easy. You might say, for example, I don't want to go home today. And I would tell you, well, do not go there. Non andarci. And it's very easy, all right? If you want to say, wow, I have a new bed, and I would tell you, great, sleep on it, I would just tell you, dormi, which means asleep, and then I add ci to prompt to sleep on it. Okay? I would love to go and eat at the new McDonald's, and I would just answer, well, mangiaci. What are you waiting for? Okay? Eat there. Of course, I can use the noi or the voi. Let's eat there. I would just say, mangiamoci. Okay? And so on and so forth. And we finally deal with ne. And we finish this long video. Ne is a pronoun that means of it, of them, and also about it, and about them. Let's attach any of these concepts to a command, and we're in business. Mr. Ashone, I want to speak about my problems with your course. Okay, John. Parla, which means speak, about it. Parlane. Or maybe I want to say, okay, John, parliamone, let's speak about it. If I address more than one person in front of me, I would say parlatene. As you can see, I'm using a to command, a noi command, and the voi command, and I'm attaching the concept of it, of some kind of concept that we already spoke about, which is the difficulty in my course. It works also if you mean about a people, for example. I want to speak about my sister, and I would say parlane, or parliamone, or parlatene. As you can see, it's very easy. I mean, the negative form would be non parliamone, non parlatene. We all know that the to form, I need to make a small change. It would sound like non plus the infinitive, parlarne. This is the class, and I understand you might have some questions, and questions are always welcome. I just gave you the rules, but of course I might have made at least another 2,000 examples. Unfortunately, the time is what it is. Come with all of your questions to class, and we will iron all difficulties out. Thank you, guys.